Hi, my name is Georgina and welcome to the seminar on turning the unavoidable avoidable, tips for protecting your investment with Churchill landlord insurance. As a landlord, it's in your best interest to keep your number one investment safe. Not only do you have a duty to your tenants, but it's the top priority to keep your property well maintained, secure and well looked after. While having the right level of insurance cover is key to protecting against those unforeseen events, there are a number of things that could happen outside of your control, resulting in you having to make an insurance claim. I'm here today to give you an insight into the top 3 most common insurance claims we see come through for Churchill landlord, why they're happening, and what could be done to prevent them from happening in the future. Hopefully you can leave this seminar today with some valuable information about what to look out for when picking a landlord insurer, as well as the daily risks you face as landlords. And hopefully this information and guidance will help increase your savings in the long run, and more importantly, your peace of mind. Being a landlord comes with its responsibilities, even when it comes to tenants making sudden accidents or causing unintentional damage to the property itself. Last year, we saw the most common claims for Churchill landlord come through as a result of accidental damage. This was 28% of claims reported to us in total in 2020. And it also cost us on average £2,038 per claim. Accidental damage is a non-deliberate external action. It either caused physical damage or resulted in a loss of function. This could be accidentally breaking a window or water pipe, or forgetting to switch off a running tap. It's important to note that malicious damage such as vandalism, holes in doors and walls, or any deliberate act that damages the buildings or contents may not be covered if caused by a tenant or anyone legally on your property. It's the consequences these events have on your property and contents that you'll be expected to repair, and not just for your property, but any adjoining property that has also been damaged. Accidental damage can be unavoidable, especially when leaving your property and contents in the hands of new tenants. To help minimise the risks, it's best to establish trust and a good working relationship with your tenants by ensuring that you get to know a bit about them and screen and check their references thoroughly before agreeing to move them in. Now, the trust works both ways, so it's also important to maintain a good relationship throughout the tenancy. And you can do this by responding to any queries they may have in a timely manner, as well as seeing to any repairs or maintenance required. Not only will this encourage your tenants to look after your property, but they're also more likely to stay for the long term. Now, when it comes to the property itself, it's best to opt for sturdiness in your floor coverings and work surfaces and stick to something that will last. Another common cause of accidental damage is DIY disasters, so ensuring your property is well maintained will prevent your tenants from turning to the toolbox. We also know that landlords aren't immune to the occasional accidental mishap either, so this also protects you too. Furthermore, if the location of your property is a hotspot for theft or malicious damage, it may also be worth considering some extra security precautions, for example, security systems and locks, which will help keep your tenants and investments secure. There's no denying that accidental damage won't ever occur, so it's imperative to check that you have the right level of cover, as most landlord insurers will offer accidental damage as an optional extra to your policy. As long as you opt for accidental damage to be included when you take out a quote, you'll be covered for any accidental damage to your property and contents with Churchill due to unexpected and non-deliberate outside forces. Likewise, it's always best to check your policy documents, as not all accidental damage covers extend to your contents, so it's always important to check that the policy still meets your needs. Although accidental damage is shown to be the top reason for a landlord insurance claim, we're also seeing a very similar trend for escape of water, which made up 27% of claims reported last year and cost us on average £3,155 per claim. Escape of water is defined as water escaping inside the property as a result of a broken or faulty appliance. This could be a faulty washing machine connection, a burst pipe or leak coming from a boiler or radiator, or even the neighbour's home. Now, there are a number of reasons why this could happen, such as DIY gone wrong. So again, it's imperative to ensure that the property is well maintained and repaired to prevent tenants from trying to fix the issue themselves. The majority of escape of water claims are caused by pipes freezing, particularly over the winter. So it's key to run regular inspections, turn on the heating, and open the loft hatch if there is a hot water tank. These are all particularly important, especially if the property is left unoccupied. Given the current times, there are increased chances of landlord premises becoming unoccupied, where the risk of escape of water is higher. In this situation, it's imperative to let your insurer know the reasons for unoccupancy, how long this is likely to be, and check how long you'll be covered for. For example, with Churchill, your cover will be reduced if the property is unoccupied for a consecutive period of 90 days or more. And one exclusion here is escape of water. As well as regularly checking on the unoccupied property, there are a number of additional measures you can take to help minimise the risks for escape of water. These include turning the main stopcock off and setting the heater on a timer to ensure your tanks and pipes are properly insulated, which will prevent them from freezing or bursting. In these instances, you may also want to consider switching off the gas and electricity supplies, except for where security alarms or fire safety systems are concerned. It goes without saying that these measures will help prevent other common risks such as theft and engineering breakdown, which we also frequently receive claims for. Another common concern is incorrect installation of pipes. So when it comes to maintenance and repairs, do your research and choose a trusted professional to carry out the work for you. Equally, it's best to check the maintenance of pipes and water systems regularly, as you may not be covered for general wear and tear by your insurer. Now, some checks you can carry out yourself include monitoring pipework for any damage or leakages, investigating dripping taps and any sign of damp on walls or ceilings. And you can also test your water meter for leaks by turning off the water and recording a reading. So, will you be covered for escape of water by your insurer? Mostly yes, depending on the insurance cover you have and the damage caused. If you have a landlord buildings insurance policy, you'll be covered for damage to the building, the bricks and mortar such as floorboards, walls and ceilings. Alternatively, if you have a landlord contents insurance policy, you'll be covered for the contents you've disclosed that belong to you, such as furniture and furnishings. If both the buildings and contents have been damaged, you may need to have a combined buildings and contents policy in place, depending on who you're insured with. With Churchill, you'll be covered for £5,000 for floor coverings such as linos and carpets, even if you've opted for buildings cover only. Exclusions will vary based on your insurer, so as mentioned previously, it's always best to check your policy documents and that more importantly, the policy still meets your needs. Some exclusions may include some of what's been discussed, including dripping or leaking taps or pipes, as well as from automatic sprinkler installations, portable oil-fired heating installation, and where the premises are vacant. We also understand that the smallest leak can lead to considerable damage as well as disruption, which is why we offer to cover the cost of alternative accommodation for tenants in the event that a property becomes uninhabitable. Loss of rent cover can be added to a standard Churchill landlord policy as an optional extra and will cover up to £1 million of loss of rent as well as alternative accommodation costs. It is important to note that loss of rent and rent guarantee are two completely different types of cover, which can often be confused. Rent guarantee is used as a safeguard against a default of rent payments from the tenant, while loss of rent cover is the rent that is lost as a result of a claim for an uninsured event. Last but not least, visits paid by Dennis, George and Francis, to name a few, saw 24% of our claims come through as a result of damage caused by storms last year. This cost us on average £1,114 per claim. According to the Association of British Insurers, windstorm is the most damaging of natural perils covered by property insurers. They define a storm as wind speeds of at least 55 miles per hour, torrential rainfall of 25 millimetres per hour, snow of at least 1 foot in 24 hours, or intense hail that causes damages to hard surfaces or glass. With growing concerns of a climate-disrupted future, storm is a trend we expect to see remaining on our top 3 reasons for insurance claims. So are there ways of defeating against Mother Nature's turmoil, and how? Well, there are a few early provisions that can be taken to help protect your landlord property against storm damage, and these include preventing floods or the build-up of water. This can be done by cleaning your gutters, checking for any cracks or gaps on the foundation of the property, as well as checking the ceiling on windows and doors and ensuring that the ground slopes away from the property in order to guide the water away. Furthermore, checking for any loose fence posts, sidings and roof shingles will help prevent any further outside hazards. If you are aware of a storm ahead, it's best for tenants to be prepared and have knowledge on how to shut off utilities and electronics. You could advise them to close the windows, blinds and doors and bring in any outside items or furniture to reduce any further risk of damage. The damage caused by storms is classed as a risk when it comes to insurance, rather than an actual cover type itself. Whether you're covered for the damage caused depends on the type of policy you hold. It's a bit similar to escape of water. Damage to the structure of the property will be covered by a landlord builder's insurance policy, and furniture and furnishings, for example, will be covered by a landlord contents insurance policy. Exclusions will, of course, vary based on who you're insured with and the type of contents the policy covers. In this case, there may be certain items that you need to add on as an optional extra rather than included as standard. A key exclusion to be aware of is around wear and tear, specifically if the roof of the property hasn't been kept in a good state of repair. Flat roofs in particular have a shorter lifespan, and the Churchill landlord policy has a requirement that flat roofs are inspected every 2 years by a competent roofing contractor. In the event of a storm, it's not just the risks posed to your property, but your tenants too. Should a tenant or visitor become injured while on your property, you could be left with a costly claim. Liability cover is there to help guard against accidents caused not only by bigger events such as storms, but the more common slips and trips. Churchill Landlord Insurance provides £2 million worth of public and property owners' liability as standard. You can choose to increase this limit to 5 million or 10 million for an additional premium. So in the event of any of the circumstances outlined today, it's actually best to prioritise any emergency repairs before making an insurance claim. By doing this, you'll prevent any further damage or loss, as well as increased costs. You can document the damage and repair services carried out by taking photographs and keeping receipts, which can also ease the claims and settlement process. Then register your claim as soon as possible, where you'll receive further guidance from your insurer. Whether you're a commercial or residential landlord, you may have gathered today that it's key to maintain the condition of your property, as well as take the necessary measures to help safeguard against the unforeseen. And as I've discussed, sometimes these events are outside of our control, which is why Churchill Landlord Insurance is there to help you get back on track with your property should you need to make a claim, so that your investment can continue to work hard for you. Now, when it comes to your landlord insurance, it's always best to read the small print to understand what's included as standard, what you may need to add as an optional extra, and what excess may be required when making a claim. While our policies are available directly on the web and over the phone, we're also listed on price comparison websites and advise that you shop around to find the cover to best suit your needs. Thank you for joining our seminar today. I really hope you found it useful. And if you'd like to find out more about Churchill Landlord Insurance, please visit us at churchill.com/landlord-insurance. I'll leave the link on the slide for you.